This is Entrepreneurs Get Visible, the podcast for people who want more impact, influence, and income. I'm Anna Parker-Naples, and I'll be sharing with you proven methods from leading entrepreneurs that help you get visible as an authority in your field. Because anything's possible when you get visible. On today's episode of Entrepreneurs Get Visible, I want to talk you through opportunities that you have to relaunch and refresh and kickstart some energy into new directions for your business. This has come up for me because we are almost at 200 episodes of Entrepreneurs Get Visible, which is hard to fathom. It will mean that I've created almost 300 podcast episodes in total because of my previous podcast. And this is an opportunity to rebrand, refresh, revisit, relaunch. I would be strongly encouraging you to look for opportunities to be able to have moments of celebration for your business. People like to support you. People like to share your joy. People like to share newness as well. So whether it is that you have a new website coming, or you perhaps have a new book coming out, or you have a new season of your podcast launching, how can you use those opportunities to treat them like mini launches, but mini launches without the obvious sale at the end? Because every time you do that and you take your audience on a journey with you, you're inviting them into your world. You're telling the story about why you're creating that new thing or why you're celebrating that new thing. One of the mistakes I see people doing is waiting until the new thing happens before they mention it on their social media or in their emails. Take, for example, a client of mine who was about to transition from a corporate world, a corporate environment, albeit still podcasting around the topic that she is an expert in, and about to transition into fully being a self-employed freelancer. Self-employed is not quite the right term because she's founding a limited company, but you get the gist. Instead of working for somebody else, she is now responsible for her own paycheck. And this is something she was scared about putting out there. And I said to her, look, if you tell this story, if you share this journey, if you share your excitement, you share your nerves, you share your decision making, you share the whole journey, the whole process. By the time you do it, you've got people on board, they're watching, they're taking notice, they feel part of that journey. Don't underestimate that power. It's the same for us. In my business, when I rebranded and reformatted my first book, Get Visible, because I was never 100% happy. That's a real underestimate of how I felt about it. I was never 100% happy with the formatting in the first version. But when we'd released it the first time, I didn't know what I didn't know. And financially, I didn't have the capital to invest in getting it done any better. So I cut corners because I didn't know how to do it any other way at that point. So when we rebranded the book, when we reformatted it, I talked about this a lot on this podcast, in lives that I did, in social media posts, always being mindful of the fact that I didn't want to upset the person who formatted and designed it in the first place, but sharing that journey, my highs, my lows, my learnings, so that when that book was then reformatted and it was then released on Amazon, it's almost like a mini launch. People are already on my side and want to support. So, for example, if you have a new website coming, treat it as though it's something you're going to seed and tease your audience with. Don't just wait until that whole tree has taken root and the finished product is there. Share the journey, share the trials, the tribulations. Show people bits of your branding that you're considering, because they are going to feel much more connected to you. And there's an important word there, connected. Everything we're doing on social media is about being social. It is about building that know, like, and trust factor by developing, albeit fabricated to some extent, by developing those relationships with people. And this can work, for example, if you're going on a new branding shoot and you're thinking about the kind of background you might like to have. Show your audience what you're thinking. If you've got some imagery that you're not sure if you're going to put it on your website or not, or you want them to help choose what goes on as the strongest images, share it with your audience. If you've got a new website coming, don't wait till it's perfect to tell people that it's coming. Share the journey, share the trials, share the tribulations, share the work that's gone into it. You can still hold back that moment of, wow, now it's live, go and check it out. But you're making yourself real to your audience. You are being social. You're sharing a part of yourself. We do this a lot in podcasting. Many people know that I help people, individuals, new podcasters, to have powerful, effective podcast launches. However, with a podcast, that's not where it all finishes. You'll see as we go into my 200th episode that you will hear more and more that there are some changes coming, that we're doing something exciting, that we're going to have a big push, if you like, to the fact that some new energy or new focus or new celebration is happening. And in truth, with a podcast or with a YouTube channel, you want to be having that sentiment behind what you're doing anyway, because you aren't going to push out every single bit of content to the nth degree. You just aren't. And having a consolidated period where you are seeding, talking about, sharing about the trials and tribulations means that when something happens, people are more likely to be engaged, interested, and support you. So for your business, think about what's coming up or what could be coming up for you that you could share and tease and share and tease and engage people with what's happening for you. Is there any element of your business that you could treat like a little bit of a relaunch or a refresh that doesn't go to a direct point of sale? And the interesting thing about pretty much every example that I've shared with you, a book rebrand, a new website, a podcast relaunch, design aspects that are hosted on your website, well, almost all of those lead to an indirect sale somewhere along the line. For a podcast, it is a powerful top end of the funnel. That's often how people get to know you, like you, love you, feel attached to you if they love your show. On a website, again, people are getting a sense of who you are. And if you've got pixels, Facebook pixels on your website, you are able to retarget them. And again, the more they see you, the more chance there is of a sale. With a new book, you buy somebody's book, you buy into their world, you buy into the beliefs that they share in that book. And obviously, books done well are powerful lead magnets. So think about this for your business. What could you celebrate as a refresh or a relaunch opportunity? How can you start telling that story rather than saving everything until it is finished, perfect, and polished? So food for thought for you today. Where can you celebrate what's coming and then go all out with real energy once it arrives? And on that note today, I'm going to let you know that one of the things we've been working on is developing a new arm of the podcast agency. So we've got a new website. It's very nearly live. We also have a fabulous, very exciting project, which is about helping high-level entrepreneurs get on other great podcasts with the right audience for them. They don't have to be the hugest podcasts, but they do have to be the right audience. And the podcast booking boutique is now, by the time you hear this, slowly taking on the first of our very exclusive roster of podcast talent, if you like. I always wanted to set this up almost a little bit like an actor's agency. There was the kind of rubbish agencies that would take on anyone, and then there would be the best of the best where people would aspire to be there, and you knew that that talent was really good, that they were going to deliver something excellent. And I wanted it to be a place where we're really matching, almost a little bit like Tinder, but a high level, not for everybody. We now have that open, and we're taking on a few clients a month over the next couple of months to keep it ultra exclusive. And if you're interested in that, then do go and check that out at the new website, which is thepodcastagency.com. Thank you for listening to Entrepreneurs Get Visible. To get your free checklist on how to raise your profile and to find out about our community, go to annaparkernaples.co.uk/get visible.